So in this particular market that we're in right now, one of the biggest mistakes that I see homeowners making is overpricing their home. And I understand it 100%. I understand owning homes and wanting to get the most from my own home. The thing to know right now is that the market has actually gotten pretty sensitive in terms of pricing. Now, when the market was wild and home prices were going like this, in 2020, 2021, there was a lot, the market was very forgiving of price, meaning that you could put a home on the market a little overpriced and it would still sell, probably for over ask, because prices were going up like 2% every single month, right? So we're in a different market now, though. And so what I see is that if a home is worth $825,000 and you want to try and shoot the moon and go for this really high price, say you want to put it on for $875,000, what we see happening is nobody looks at your home. They don't come look. They don't even come for a showing, okay? We might even see the markers on our ads still rate well, but it's overpriced. And so a lot of times I think homeowners think, oh, well, I'll test this price at $875,000 and, people will come in and they'll offer me $850,000 or, something like that. But in reality, that's not what we see happening. In reality, you just see the buyers not come look at your house. So my best advice to sellers who want to get their home sold is to price your home appropriately. And here's the other bad news that nobody wants to say out loud. The market doesn't care what you think your house is worth. The market doesn't care what you want to get for your house. The market doesn't care how much money you spend on your upgrade. They don't care what you paid for the house. They don't care what your next house is going to cost. The market does not care. The market is actually pretty efficient. And at the end of the day, your house is worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. And that's it. And we use the best data possible to develop what we think that number is based on all the available information that we have. And so when you as a seller decide to price significantly above that number, then what ends up happening is your home gets on the market and it sits and it sits and it sits, and days on market accrue and accrue and accrue. And then finally, if somebody does come along after you've dropped your price like this, you are in a major position of weakness, because more likely than not, that is the only offer that you have in play, and the buyer knows and they have more leverage in the negotiation. Versus if your home is worth $825,000 and you put your home on the market for $825,000, or maybe strategically a little under $825,000, you get a lot of momentum. You get a lot of showing activity. That gives you leverage to be able to negotiate. So then when you have offers coming in, you can actually push for terms that are more advantageous to you, like a higher due diligence, like a lease back if you need it, like making sure they're not going to come back on you for a bunch of repairs. So that's my biggest thing lately. If I see sellers who want to test the market and try to put their home on high, end up sitting, they don't get the showing activity, and then ultimately it can really hurt their negotiation power down the road.